All right, begin.
What's going on, y'all? What it is? So let's go ahead and slide on this topic, and I promise not to take too much of your time. I just wanted to talk about this Kelvin Hunter ordeal due to the fact that recently he just went into great detail about his financial situation. Now, I made a video a couple of days ago talking about the fact that there was a stipulation in Wendy's and Kelvin's divorce settlement contract stating that if Wendy is not making $10 million a year like she was when she was doing her show, basically that Kelvin's alimony can be terminated or modified. Now, we all know that Wendy hasn't been working. She's been teasing us with the podcast, but we know that Wendy is still struggling mentally and physically. So according to Kelvin, he hasn't received an alimony check from Wendy since February. And also he's saying that his house could be up for foreclosure pretty soon. And then on top of that, he's saying that he doesn't have any health insurance and he's battling a bad hip and he's in pain each and every day.
Oh, I'm hurt. Oh, my neck, my back, my neck and my back.
And that's exactly what the hell you get, player. I'm glad that you and Sharina are struggling. I'm glad that you and Sharina are laying in bed at night listening to the beats of your own growling stomachs. Well, I mean, y'all probably eating. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Sharina still has a lot of that pancake mix left over because she ain't selling that shit. You see, what y'all thought is that y'all was going to be living comfortably off of Wendy's alimony check, right? You thought that you was going to be styling and profiling, splashing and splurging, but God had different plans, and so did Wendy. And you leeches just sat back and thought that Wendy was just going to take her lumps and move on without putting up a fight. She may not be putting up an aggressive fight, but she's strategically playing the hell out of y'all to make sure that she doesn't have to take care of another family. And rightfully so. Now, what I'm about to say, trust and believe me, I am not trying to minimize anything that Wendy is going through health-wise and mentally. But I do think that some of what we're seeing is an act. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that Wendy is as far gone mentally as we think that she is. And as a matter of fact, I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know if you agree with me on this. Do you think that Wendy is just playing it off just a little bit? You know, just drop down and let a brother know, because I'm thinking from the standpoint, Wendy could be like, let me present myself like I'm unfit and unstable, right? And if I present myself this way, people are going to say she's not ready to work. She can't work, you know, in this particular condition. So basically, if I play this way, in the stipulation that was in the alimony contract, it states that either the payments of alimony to Kelvin Hunter have to be modified or terminated. And I believe in my mind, Wendy and her lawyer is going for the termination of all alimony. But anyway, let's get into what Kelvin had to say about his financial situation. And it says here, Kelvin Hunter broke and face in foreclosure after Wendy Williams cut off his alimony. Wendy Williams' ex-husband, Kelvin Hunter, claims he can't pay his bills and is facing foreclosure after the former talk show host stopped paying alimony. According to court documents obtained by the U.S. Sun, Kelvin says his monthly payments, which he and Wendy agreed to in their divorce settlement, stopped back in February of 2022. Earlier this year, a financial guardian was assigned to control Wendy's accounts after the bank alleged that she had dementia and was a potential victim of financial exploitation or undue influence. Kelvin is demanding the court order Wendy's guardian to make payments as contractually required under the MSA and severance agreement. He also argued that he was never given a reason to why the payment stopped. The former television producer says that he solely depends on those monthly payments to support himself. I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the homeowners association, and I'm behind on that bill, Kelvin said in his filing. If the homeowners association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow.
Girl, I don't give a
Kelvin shares his home with his former mistress, Sharina, and their daughter. He continued, "My car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended."
You stupid
Kelvin added, "My life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement." Kelvin also revealed that he doesn't have health insurance and is in need of hip surgery. However, because he doesn't have insurance and can't get treatment, he is in pain daily. The fact that I'm unable to sustain my life and pay my bills in order is extremely emergent to me. I cannot pay my bills and sustain my day-to-day living, he added. Now, in addition to that, they're reporting that Sharina took a dig at Wendy, right? And so she posted to her Instagram story. Now, I didn't catch it, but this is what she posted. She said, "Happy and healthy is all I'm on right now." Then she added, "The clickbait is real. I guess they need the storyline to continue for a podcast." So when I first read what Sharina said, I was like, she could have been talking about anybody. But the key word here is to continue for a podcast. And we know that Wendy has been dangling that carrot in front of us for quite some time, saying that she's coming out with the podcast, but we haven't seen or heard anything from her podcast yet. So in my estimation, she could have been talking about Wendy, and it sounds like she was talking about Wendy, but she didn't go into further explanation on why she took the dig at Wendy. So at the end of the day, we don't know why she said what she said. But ultimately, you know, the things that Kevin is complaining about, you know, it sounds like a man issue. You're responsible for your health insurance. You're responsible for taking care of the household. You're responsible for taking care of the bills. You're responsible for putting food on your family's table. And so it sounds like to me, you didn't have a plan B, C, or D when you left Wendy. You only had plan A, and that was to live off Wendy's alimony check, right? And so when you were working with Wendy, it sounds like to me you didn't save your money for a rainy day. Instead, you invested it in Sharina, and all of her businesses failed. Now, she could talk all she want about Wendy's podcast and things of that nature. It's going to do better than any business that, you know, she tried to construct, because again, all of her businesses burned down to the ground. So in my mind, it's nothing to it but to do it, bruh. You need to go get a job, right? There's no shame in an honest day's work. So, you know, don't be afraid to say, how may I help you? Don't be afraid to say, do you want cheese? No ketchup, no onions. Do not be afraid to repeat that order back to them, because at the end of the day, you put yourself in this particular situation. You made your bed. Now you got to lie on it. Now you're going to suffer the consequences of your actions. It is what it is. You chose Sharina. You chose your daughter. Hey, rightfully so. You did what you had to do. Now it's time for you to man up and do what you actually need to do to sustain your family's well-being. But anyway, I'm gonna let this slide right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about this whole entire situation. I will say this in closing. I did see a change in Kelvin's demeanor around March of this year, and I believe it had something to do with the fact that those checks stopped coming in February, right? Those alimony checks, you know, Wendy had pulled the plug on him. So he started becoming a little bit more emotional. He was coming on camera crying and just being extremely dramatic. So listen, it's not above the realm of possibility that you'll see Kelvin doing interviews here shortly. You might catch him on Vlad TV doing the tell-all, you know, in regards to the relationship between him and Wendy Williams, right? This brother is starving for cash. He's about to do anything and everything that he can to recoup some paper in his direction. So listen, it just is what it is. So guys, listen, drop down in the comments. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
Well,